Hello world, dreaming about going away on a holiday? Warmest welcome to World Humanitarian Drive's 24th episode of Inspiring Millions Show. This is the show where we celebrate brilliant minds from around the world who share with us their story, one story at a time. Today, our featured guest is Honorable Ali Hussain, a Minister of Parliament in Maldives. We'll get to know his inspiring story in a short while. Thank you for joining us live or in replay. I'm Vivandrada O'Flynn, your host and Global Media Relations of World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK, by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. WHD is striving for humanity. This Inspiring Millions show is your show. As always, we encourage you to engage and interact with us. Please help us spread inspiration to the world by sharing this link. Put your questions that you would like to ask our honorable guest, Honorable Ali Hussain, greetings, shout outs, or comments that you have for us in the chat box. We will read them later on in the show. Let us also know where you are watching this. Wherever you are in the world, let us keep you company and brighten your day as we share peace, love, and goodwill. With the world battling the COVID-19 pandemic for over a year now, and restrictions getting lifted, there are those longing to take a break, to go on a vacation. A holiday dream destination that comes to mind is Maldives, a country in South Asia where our virtual stage takes us today. Officially called the Republic of Maldives, famed for its turquoise waters and idyllic beaches, it is dubbed as the sunny side of life. Maldives, situated in the Indian Ocean, is a holiday paradise dependent on tourism. As with tourism, while it can bring benefits, it can also pose potential negative impacts to the environment. Here in today's episode of Inspiring Millions Show, we have with us today Honorable Ali Hussain, Kendhoo constituency member of parliament for the opposition Jamhuri Party. He is involved with committees such as Judiciary Committee, Committee Economic Affairs, Committee on Economic and Climate Change, and others. A graduate of National Law School of India University, a practicing lawyer, and let's all welcome an MP who is not afraid to speak his mind, a champion of the environment, Honorable Ali Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Thank you for joining us. Shukriya.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you, Piva, for having me here in this program. I really appreciate and thank you once again for having me over here. And I'm speaking from Maldives, as you have said, and simply sitting in my own island. It's called Kendhoo, and the constituency, my constituency, is named after this island, Kendhoo constituency. And then I just want to rectify a small thing. We have a presidential system, so I'm not holding any ministerial position. So I'm just an MP, a sitting MP, elected as second term.
Honorable Ali Hussain, could you please introduce yourself to the world? What do you consider the most important highlights of your life that led you to be the MP that you are today?
Yeah, I'm an MP now. I got elected as an MP by 2014. That doesn't mean that it was given to me in a silver plate. I had many ups and downs. As I come from a very humble background, my father is a fisherman and my mom is a housewife. And we have like 7 siblings in my family. So till the age of 16, I had to stay in my island. and there was no good education in my island. So when I went back, when I came to Mali, I was 16 years old, but then I had to join grade 6. And from there on, my education actually started, I would say. So when I got my O-levels done, I was 21 years old, and it was very hard to get into like A levels, 11th and 12th standard. But then again, since I did my art stream subjects, I was lucky enough to get admission in at CHSC. And then later on, after a gap for 1.5 years, I got this scholarship to study in India, and then I went abroad and got my first degree. But to say all these things, I would tell you, I had many rejections at age 8. I was never allowed to into a school because I was above 7 years. And age of 16, I was rejected again because I didn't know any English. So I was never given admission in a private school. So I was sent to another school, and I had to, at the age of 16, I had to join grade 6. Age of 21, I got rejected again. First instance, I was rejected to getting into high school because I was 21 years old. But then I never gave up. And later on, I got an opportunity. And I did my first degree in a BA LLB honors, and then I came back. But to tell you the truth, even after studying, it was not easy to get a job in Maldives. I had a very bad interview at Judicial Service Commission because I wanted to get into judiciary. And to tell you the truth, I failed in the interview. But then again, later on, I got another job at Prosecutor General's office. But for some reasons, because of the economic crisis in 2009, I had to quit that job. And I started my own law firm. And thereon, I was on my own. And after 5 years of practicing law, by 2015, by 2014, I decided to run for election. And this was a dream that I had in mind even when I was 13 years of age, while I was living in my island. So that was very tough. And some people even teased me why I was even contesting, because I had to compete or 2 times running mate in presidential elections because his name was Tasmin, and he was the running mate for President Mamoun, the 30-year-old regime in 2008. And also he was the running mate for the then president in 2013, Mr. Wahid. And he was the actually holding the position in my constituency as an MP for 20 years. And it was a uphill battle for sure. And a lot of people told me that it wouldn't be possible. But then I said, why can't I try? I think I can. Something told me that I could do that. And that's how I actually challenged him. And luckily, with help from my friends and also some financial help from my clients and all that, I was able to win that election, and I got elected. And that's how I became an MP. Actually, it was not an easy journey. It was very tough, but it just tells me, it just tells a story that even a person from a very humble background, from fisherman's family, from a small island, if you have the determination and will, you can reach wherever you want. That's in short how I became an MP.
So you've come from humble beginnings and had your share of rejections. Why did you become interested in politics, and why do you do the work that you do?
I got interested in politics. How it started was actually my island is located, in Maldives itself, located in Indian Ocean, and around my island there are very so many uninhabited islands. And then even when I was young, I came to know that none of those islands were actually, belonged to the communities or to anybody from my island. All those islands were given to people from Mali, from the capital island, for the big shots, for certain class of people, a community of people. they are having control over those islands. And if we want to go there, we have to get the permission and everything. So I felt that it was not fair, like it's because of our actions and because our forefathers, they actually, look after those islands. So I felt that we should have a better say, or it's better that we have access to these islands on our own. So I felt that like we are being not treated well. That was the first instance how it started. And to tell you, even till today, it hasn't changed. Of course, most of the islands nearby my island, most of the islands were given, built as resorts, but the remaining islands are still given to a certain class of people. None of it is given to anybody from my island, or to anybody in a nearby inhabited island person. So that's how I got interested, because I felt that it was an injustice, and I felt that it was not fair. Basically, I didn't realize that it was basically I was questioning, or my thought process started from that point of like the feeling that I had, that something was not fair, and we deserve something better. We deserve to have access to those islands, and we should be the people who would be having control and who will be basically managing and or farming or doing whatever we want with those islands. And that's how it started. Actually, that's how I got interested in politics in the first place.
How about
So
when it comes?
so I thought that maybe if I got elected to the parliament or somewhere, if I become an important person in politics, that I would be able to affect it, or I will be able to change it somehow. But still there's a long way ahead, I guess.
So, well, because of the pandemic, it, well, derailed some people's goals in life. So, how has the pandemic affected your activities as an MP?
In fact, like when the pandemic hits to the world, and like indiscriminately, like all the countries in the world got affected. I thought this is the time, or this is an opportunity. Like we should, like what I believe is the humans, they have a super quality. They have the quality of converting every negative thing into positive thing. That's what we are good at it, and that's how we survive. We have survived in the long journey of life. And so that when this pandemic hit us, I thought like, yeah, maybe this is the time that the direction of the country has to be changed. I thought the people in the government, they would change their policies. They would change the direction of the country. Basically, what I'm telling is, we have our economy is heavily depending on tourism. So when the COVID hits us, like it all crashed. It all crashed. And for all foods, we rely on imports. We don't produce enough food to feed our population, and we are relying basically on everything onto the outside world, and we import each and every product. So I thought like with the pandemic, it was a good time, or it's a good opportunity in a way, that we got to change the course of the country, the course of the nation. Maybe a diversification, maybe into like agriculture, maybe for food production. And that could have been a really good thing. Of course, the government has started some initiatives and towards that direction. But what I would say, what I would like to say, that it's not enough. Like it's not enough in the sense, because I can't see in these communities. That much of drive is being created, that much of consciousness or understanding, or that much of persuasion is being made for the people to start growing their own food, start growing their own food in the back garden, or even the like in empty space in the island, or not enough. I say not enough like is being done, because even the remaining, the remaining uninhabited islands, they are just there. Like enough is not being done. So that's in terms of the broader policy, what I'm saying. So even now, when the pandemic is, since we have got vaccinated for more than 50% of our population, and since the tourists have started arriving into Maldives, I think we are still on the same square. Like we are again relying on the same industry, the tourism industry, which is very fragile. Like when there's any hint of war, or when there's any hint of pandemic or anything like this, it affects people's traveling patterns, and it has affected us like to a great extent. And during this COVID-19, even our work is being it also affected us. Like we had to have many sessions online, but still we were many we never stopped, like having parliament sessions. Like that is one thing like great about this parliament. And I don't think it has happened in many of the countries. We never stopped basically having parliament sessions. Either it was online, for sometimes it was online, and later on, when things got eased after the first wave, we started having our own parliamentary sessions in the house. And then again, the second wave and third wave, it got affected us, and then it was we started having sessions like online. But now again, things are getting better, and then we have started working in the Parliament House itself. But right now, at the moment, we are on recess.
Okay, so you're on recess. So when will it resume again?
It will resume by 15th August, and also after 3 days, like by 20th of this month, we have one of the greatest festivals, the Eid we have. So this is the time where most of the people in the capital island, they all travel to their own islands. In Mali, like more than half of the population, they are like migrants from the islands and from abroad. It's time that all of us, we turn back on, we come back to our islands and then spend time with our families like that. So I have taken my family, and then because my mom and my dad and two of my daughters live in this island, so I come with my family, with the other daughter. And then it's a good time, it's a festival time. But then I had given this commitment to you, and I knew that it would be the time that I would be in my island. So it's a great time, and it's a happy time. Actually, want to have a conversation and a show like this with you.
So you mentioned you're also a family man. So how do you balance politics and family life as well?
It's not that easy. I mean, to tell you the truth, like being an MP, especially in a small country like this, where everyone knows each and everyone almost. If you like relate even to my constituency, like everyone, almost everyone would know me, and a lot of people would have my contact number. So basically, we are in continuous connection. Like if they have some issues, if they have some concerns, they would always call me up, or they will text me. So I have to, even though the session is not there in place, we have some development projects and some other works being done, and there we have to keep on attending to people. So it is difficult, sometimes to balance it. But I make it a point, like I just make it a point, like after sometimes at night, I just don't even pick up calls. And then especially my clients, since I do also give legal advice to some of my clients, they also know that I wouldn't be picking up phones like after like 9 or 10, like especially after 10 o'clock, I wouldn't be picking up phone. But it's difficult. But then I also believe that, I would be able to stand up like this, and I am who I am, and I would be able to go out and work because my wife is there and she is doing the work, and then because of my family. I think that's the bedrock of any human being or any person. You want to work somewhere, you need to have a strong family and strong bonding. Like after all the stress of work and everything, you come back to the family, and I think it's also a way to rejuvenate your life. So it's always good to have the connection with the family, and I give my preference, and I make sure that I give enough attention to my family as well.
That's an important message about having strong family connections. So on Sunday is Nelson Mandela International Day. So what important traits should today's leaders have? What makes a good politician?
In fact, Nelson Mandela is like I would say my favorite politician. Like I always adored him. Even when I studied history in like grade 8, 9, 10, he was my favorite like leader. I think if there's a single lesson that the today's world leaders have to learn from Nelson Mandela is that like one of course that reconciliation, you know, when it is necessary and when you have to, like you have to reconcile yourself however much injustice has been done in the past. If you go after the past, or if you go for witch hunting, there is no way that you could like I mean build your future. But that doesn't mean that you completely ignore the justice system. Or I mean, I'm not saying that like reconciliation should be only a process that does not involve any part of, I mean, judicial system or justice system. Of course, justice has to be done, but in your heart, deep down, you should know that you should have the strength to forgive even to the people who have harmed. That is one lesson. The second lesson, I think, the world leaders they have to learn, especially in countries like Maldives, is that you should know how to let go of when your time is over. You know, like that's one thing Nelson Mandela did great. You know, like I'm sure he could have gotten elected even after he resigned after the 5 year term. I mean, the first term, even he could have gotten elected as the president for even the second term. But you know, he felt that he had served the country. Of course, he fought the battle to get independence, and he got the opportunity to reconcile the blacks and white people. And then he got the opportunity to form, I mean, a unified government. And then he served his country as the president. And then he thought it's best that he should leave, like I mean, for the next generation or some other people to serve in the capacity as the president. But we don't see that happening, especially in countries in Southeast Eastern Asia, and especially in my country for that matter. You know, like people who have been presidents like in the previous like years, they never leave politics. They never leave enough room for the young politicians to emerge and lead the place. So I think the second best lesson that today's leaders should learn is you should know when to let go of and when to retire.
Okay, so those are important lessons for today's leaders. Number one, you've mentioned, is have the strength to forgive. And number two is learn to let go, to not hold on to power. Because
Exactly.
some leaders might tend to like hold on to power longer and then not giving other people the chance to rule as well, to help out countries.
I
So
think
yes.
yeah, I think it's the power. You know, like I mean, what I have understand is what I understood is power is something like an addiction. You know, it's stronger than even drugs. You know, like once you're addicted to power, it's really difficult to leave that grid. You know, like it's very difficult to leave that grip of power, because once you taste the power, it's so intoxicating. Because when you see people like I mean obeying your orders, and when you see people like you can actually do things, when you can move things, when you can make people do things the way that you want, you know, when you have the taste of it, it's really hard for some people to leave the whole thing and forget about it and then do something else, like other than I mean trying to get back into power and do it again. So I think that's what some of the people, some of the leaders, they find it so difficult to do. But I think, I mean, we should, and the current leaders, they should know how to leave it when they have to.
So power can be intoxicating. What would you like to achieve? What would you want to be your important contribution as the MP of Kendhoo?
I won't make it like I mean look like a simple thing. You know, like I mean. When I got into politics, there was kind of smoke screen, or there was a kind of hype up created. You know, like uh, we used to think getting into politics is tough, and also the process of making the laws is so difficult, and normal people, ordinary people cannot reach there. And I would break that glass ceiling. I would break that myth, and then I won't tell the people it's not the way, or it's not like the way that you think it is. it's a simple thing. I mean, when you get into the Parliament House, and when I get involved in the process of making the law and debates, and when I see the so-called big leaders, the so-called big politicians, they are all just like us, like normal, ordinary citizens, normal human beings, but we have this tendency of like giving these people, the leaders, superhuman status. So I just want people to know that it's a simple thing, like we are the politicians, of course, that being even an MP, or even if you are like serving in the government, or even if you're working for the state, you are just a servant for the people, like who are serving for the people. So I just won't make it a simple thing. I just won't make people to know that actually the people have the power, not the government, not the parliamentarians, and not the people actually holding the positions. Like it's the people who decide, and the people's the vested the ultimate power is actually vested with the people. And even an ordinary, I want them to know that ordinary people, could make it to the top. Ordinary people can make difference, and they can actually, even if they choose to be involved in politics, there is enough space and there is enough platforms for them to work, and them to even to achieve. So I won't make politics a simple thing. Also, one more thing I want to add. I want to change the way people see politics. Like in my country, I think it's common in many countries, because politics is being said as something dirty, and people say politics is dirty. It doesn't mean that, it is dirty by itself. I think it's the people who get into politics, they make it dirty, and it's the citizens who actually, on that one particular day, the voting day, the people decide who becomes their council member, or who becomes their MP, or who becomes their president or prime minister. The people decide. But uh, once they get elected into power, once they get involved in politics, they forget about the people, the very people who have elected you. And then, of course, the corruption comes, and many other things, many other forms of unexpected behaviors will be seen from politicians. And of course, deals are like sometimes unfair deals will be made with the rich people, or the powerful people in the country or abroad. And that's how it gets, basically how the picture gets bad, and people start thinking it's a dirty business. But I really want even the good people, the learned, or the good people in the society or the intellectual community to be more engaged in politics. If they don't get involved, then what happens is, of course, the gap will be filled by people who are not worthy.
That's a really good message about power as well, because you've mentioned it's ordinary people who have power. And you have a Twitter account, it's at Ali Voice, where you share your opinion on the government, climate change. And then you even said something like, remember, we are the children of the sea and we never do anything to hurt our mother. So what can ordinary citizens do to make a difference in their communities? What can ordinary citizens do to be part of the solution?
Well, yeah, when I was young, my worldview was like, my whole world was my island. Okay. Of course, I used to go by very nearby islands, but I never thought that there could exist, big countries, big continents, or like big islands, or so many people. So my worldview was that the whole world is like my island, because wherever I see the horizon, it just endless sea, like it just goes and goes, like, of course, a few drops of islands, and then it goes to infinity. So that was my idea. So my idea of island by then was my island. But once I have learned, once I have studied in school, and once I have traveled abroad, and once I got into politics, I realized that, like, even you are living in an island, I am living in an island, everyone in this world, they all live in islands. but all the islands are connected by one single ocean. So the common factor is the ocean. So if we really care about ourselves, if we really care about our future, I think we should care about our ocean. Our life will depend on the ocean, all the life forms. I mean, for a country like Maldives, especially, like we heavily depend on our ocean. 99% of Maldives is ocean. Our fish of protein source, it comes from the ocean. And of course, the fish that we catch and then we sell off, it comes from the ocean. And heavily we are mostly depending on the tourism. And one of the components that we sell in Maldives is the beauty of the oceans. And of course, therefore, I would say like each one of us who are living in Maldives, and of course, all the people who are living in everywhere in the world, like a bottle, I mean, left by someone in Africa, or a bottle left by someone in let's say in Australia, it could land somewhere on a beach in Maldives. Because I have seen like, I mean, some plastic trash which I can trace. Even from the name, I can trace some countries in Africa. Some of plastics which can trace I mean, so some other countries far off, like our island nation. So this shows that, like, someone must have thrown that bottle, or someone must have thrown that plastic, I mean, bag somewhere. But then again, we also realize that, like, if we talk about the menace of plastic, more than 50% of the plastic in the oceans are actually the fishing nets, the discarded fishing nets. So it's something that we have to seriously think about, the way, the pattern that how we catch the fish. But fortunately, in Maldives, we have a very environmental friendly way of catching the fish. Especially for tuna, we never use nets to catch the tuna. We use only pole and line, so it's totally environment friendly. We don't catch like sharks while catching the tuna. And also, there's a full ban on shark catching, and also it's dolphin friendly. So we just use a pole and line to catch the fish. So the way we catch fish, I think in the rest of the world, they have to also start. I mean, it may not be exactly the same way, but I think it's time the countries all over the world, they have to think how to catch the fish in a sustainable manner, so that our ocean, the health of the ocean and the fish can be sustained for the generations to come. So there's a role each one of us can do, each of us can perform. When every country in the world, there will come an election for the prime minister, for the parliament, for the president. So if it becomes an election issue, you have to make sure that the health of the ocean becomes an election issue, and the environment becomes an election issue. And you have to make sure the politicians, the people who get elected, they have to deal with those issues. And that's something definitely each and every one of us can do.
Health of the ocean is very important. I'm just going to be reading comments from our virtual audience. Win is saying, we'd love to go to beautiful Maldives. Could you please greet a great fan of your show, Tongi Gra, on his birthday? Happy birthday, Tongi Gra. Greetings from us.
Happy birthday.
Yay. And then, so we also have more comments from Billy Tang. He's saying that power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And then Professor Dorisami Govindsamy, he's saying he visited Mali, the capital of Maldives, on 2 business trips. So he understands that Maldives is one of the best tourist destinations in the world. There seems to be a serious environment problem, continuous rising sea tide waters and coastal flooding. So his question is, what are the measures taken by your government to overcome or solve these environmental climatic problems?
The government is, in fact, talking about, they have been planning, and then they have been pledging to do a lot of things. But as you know, the climate change and the sea level rise is not completely entirely in our hands. But then definitely there are things that we could do, like we could do to protect our islands and to make sure that our carbon footprint is low. In that respect, I'm very sorry to say that there are things that which like I wouldn't personally, and a lot of people, a lot of Maldivians in Maldives, they don't like, which the government is doing. For instance, I mean, dredging operations is being carried out even nearby Male, and then many such operations are like are planned even for the future, and many such plans are like, I mean, and also, you know, like because we have the scarcity of land as well, that issue is also there. I'm not denying that, but then again, we have to consider that environmental crisis is actually it's an existential threat. You know, like if we don't, if we Maldivians, if we don't take seriously, we can't possibly say to all the other countries, for the industrial countries or the developed countries, even to reduce their carbon emissions. I mean, we should have the moral authority to say that. I mean, we will have it only when we do our bit. So I wouldn't say, like, I mean, I'm very sorry to say that. I mean, our government, they speak or they plan and they talk about doing, but I don't think we are doing enough. We should be able to do even more, and we should be able to like even help in a better way, even show an example for the other countries to follow. So I feel that we're not doing enough in that direction.
We have another question from our virtual audience from Tongi Gra. Is there a law or restriction that makes businesses in the Maldives only purchase fish and seafood locally? Because that would be a great help to refrain fish net pollution as a great example for the world.
Uh, in fact, in Maldives, foreign companies are not allowed to fish in our boat. I mean, till recently, yeah, but there are some long line fishing vessels, they have given permission. But definitely, netting is any kind of net. I mean, fishing that is carried out by nets are not allowed in Maldives. But then again, we have a large area of ocean. Definitely, there'll be intrusions of vessels, like, you know, foreign vessels, you know, that it's happening all over the world. But there is law, of course. Even foreign companies operating in Maldives, they can't be involved in tuna fishing or the kinds of fisheries, fishery fishing activities done by local Maldivians. There is a law which restricts, but then again, we see that there is a pressure even from certain sections of communities, because of tourism. You know, like there is most of the youth, you know, they prefer going to resorts rather than going for fishing. But that trend has changed a little bit during the pandemic because of this COVID situation, because you could go for fishing. I mean, nobody could prevent that, but because the tourists, when they stopped coming into Maldives, definitely we had to find alternatives. So there are some youth groups, or some people who went back to the islands and started fishing as well. But to answer that question, we already have a law that restricts foreign companies or foreigners doing fishing activities in Maldives.
Okay, that's good to know. So yesterday was World Youth Skills Day as declared by UN. What are the important skills that today's youth need to have?
Jobs and of course environment. I think these are the two main issues, or the most important, or I would say difficult challenges the 21st century will have to face, and we are already, I mean, seeing it. And for the youth, of course, the jobs are related to the youth, and that's the community or the people who would need the jobs most. And with the increased development of information technology and biotechnology and all that, we see many jobs are being, I mean, fast replaced by technology and AI, and basically automation process. So a degree from a school, or a diploma from a school would not be enough to get a job. In fact, I really want to tell the youth that like be prepared. Like even though you may learn one skill right now, you may have to learn a set of different skills later on in your life, maybe after 20 years or after 30 years. If you really want to stay in the job market, you have to be ready for even such instances. So uh, uh, instead of just having a university degree, or I would say education qualification, I would say skills. Like you have to pay more attention to skills. Learning different life skills is more important than anything else, because you really can't rely. You can't rely on someone else to provide a job in a flat. Like you will have to fight for it. So the ones who have a better skills, the ones you have more skills, the ones you have better adaptability, like with inbuilt within themselves, will have better opportunities of getting, or a better scope of getting jobs. So I would say, instead of concentrating or focusing only on education, you have to concentrate more on the jobs, and also be prepared for to be retrained even after sometimes in your life.
So your message to the youth is that you have to keep learning, upskilling. Life skills are important.
Continuous learning, of course. Continuous, you have to keep on learning. You may have to, like, of course, we'll have to continuously learn. At the same time, we have to learn different skills. Like one set of jobs, if for instance, if you get into the profession of, let's say, accountancy, like after sometimes, maybe after 10 or 15 years, there may not be any need for any more accountants. Like it can happen. For that matter, for doctors, after 20, 30 years, maybe only the artificial intelligence would take over, like a whole of the whole profession. So you really, many jobs, will become redundant. Many, it will be really, that's what I'm saying. The job market is going to have, to face a lot of restraints. So we have to better be prepared for such circumstances. So the best way to get prepared is knowing and learning more life skills.
That's a very important message. So World Humanitarian Drive has an Honoring the Honorable initiative to identify and recognize individuals and organizations for their contributions to this world by honoring and awarding them. So how important is Honoring the Honorable initiative in these times?
The simplest thing that can make you, have a simple smile is when you say thank you, even for small things. Uh, so I think honoring the honorable and honoring like organizations that do honorable work uh, is very important. Like especially in a time like this, during in a situation like this, when you in your life, when someone does even a small thing, we should know, and we should really be thanking each and everyone. So that in fact, it's contagious as well. It spreads love. It creates the kind of bond, the community bonding. If it's a family, it creates family, love among family members. If it's a community group, of course, it creates, and it promotes, or it harnesses love in island communities or other communities as well. So it's just appreciation, like. So I think that is something very important for any NGO, or even at individual levels. It's something very important to do. When someone does an important job, when someone does an honorable work, it's really important to appreciate it and say thank you. So the better way of thanking is, of course, an official recognition, and something to remember. A way of remembrance is, of course, that memory will live forever, and of course the other people could see that someone, and that can also inspire, the people who can see, like, someone is being honored for the work, that the humanitarian work, or whatever kind of work that person has done for the society or for the country. and that would inspire even the other people who are around it. That will inspire the whole world as well. Like even today, you must be like, you are in UK and I am in a small island in Maldives, and we are connected and we are talking. And if we say thank you to if I say thank you to Viva, like, I mean, it just sends a vibration, across the globe. Whoever is seeing, whoever is listening to this would know that we appreciate each other. So honoring and appreciating and saying thank and being thankful is one of the greatest things, like human beings have like acquired, or that we have the awareness of it.
That's a great message. So let's honor, appreciate, and thank people more often. So we have viewers from different parts of the world: Malaysia, Nepal, Australia, the Philippines. So many of our viewers have not been to Maldives yet. So on 26th of July is Maldives Independence Day from the UK. What can you tell people about Maldives, and what do you love about the place, your country?
The one thing I love about Maldives is, of course, the peace, like the harmony and peace. We are a peace loving country. And the other thing is, of course, the natural beauty that we have, like each and every island. It is unique by itself, and we have white, shining beaches. And as you have explained it in the introduction, we have a turquoise blue waters, and also we are very good at in basically receiving our guests and honoring our guests, like in providing services with a big smile. We are very good at that. And we are known in the world for the sun, sea, and sand. But apart from all that, I think that the sun, sea, and sand, this becomes beautifier. The whole, all of these kinds of beauties gets magnified only because of the peace and harmony that we have in Maldives. So of course, we are an independent country. We have independence, and we have never been a colony, colony of any of those countries, but we are protectorate of British. We were British protectorate till 1968, but we were never ruled by British people as such. So we love our independence. It's an independent country. So I would love to tell all the viewers, we have different kinds of, options right now. Till recently, till 2008, we never had anything other than the resorts. But now we have island hotels in inhabited islands. We have island hotels. We have guest houses. Different ranges we have. So, and you get, almost the same kind of facilities that you get, or that you receive in the resorts as well. So whatever background that you come from, if you could travel to Maldives, and we would really appreciate it. And of course, we need you. Like we want you to come here and visit Maldives and find the beauty of and experience it by yourself. Without me telling you the beauty of it, without me telling you how peaceful and how how harmonious that you feel. And also the weather, if you live in poles, we are actually few among the 13 countries where the equator runs. So it's a hot, humid country throughout the year. So it has great weather too. So I would really, I would love, and of course we ask like you all to come and visit us. Welcome to Maldives.
That's great. Thank you. So, what should tourists traveling to Maldives keep in mind when they visit Maldives?
That's a tough question because that's not my field, but definitely I would tell them, look, now we have got like more than 50% of our population got vaccinated. 2 doses of vaccination is being done, 2 jabs being done for more than 50% of our population. And most of the people in the resorts, they all got almost like more than 80%, I think, or 90% of the people who are working in resorts, they have got their, jabs as well. So it's safe, totally safe to visit Maldives. And also, I would love to tell the people that we have one island, one resort concept. So you'll be received at the airport, and then you'll be taken directly to your island. So very minimal contact. So it's totally safe to travel to Maldives. And in inhabited islands also, it's very safe. And this is one of the places where you will be able to like even walk across the streets without without any kind of fear. So there is no caution. I would say that you're all welcome. Please come, and we need your presence over here. And of course, we are having difficult times even in order to recover our economy, since tourism is the main industry we are heavily depending on. We need more tourists to come to Maldives, and we actually requesting we would the whole world and everyone who is watching this show to invite your friends or tell your friends that Maldives is totally safe to travel, and we are basically ready to welcome you.
Thank you for that. For our final question, we always ask this question to our guests. What is your inspiring message to the world?
If you want to change anything, just change your thinking. Start thinking what you want. I think that is the message I want, because anything if you want to do, first you have to think. Even if you're sad, if you're unhappy, or if you're like stressed or whatever, if you want good things to happen in your life, just think about good things. That's the beginning. That's the first move. So I would say, if you want to change the world, if you want to change anything in your world for better, start thinking good about it. Start thinking good about yourself. So think positive and think good.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ali Hussain, for honoring us with your presence, sharing your words of wisdom, expertise, and inspiring the world with your story. And in honor of international recognition for your virtue in persistently serving and inspiring humanity with your noble deeds, World Humanitarian Drive would like to award you, Honorable Ali Hussain, with Inspiring Humanitarian Award. We will be sending this one to you later. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all your humanitarian works, and here's to many more. So congratulations again. And thank you, Shukriya, for joining us here today.
Shukriya. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Honorable Ali Hussain, Minister of Parliament in Maldives. It is Nelson Mandela International Day on Sunday, the 18th of July. We would like to share a quotation by international peacemaker, human rights lawyer, and the first elected president of a free South Africa, Nelson Mandela. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion with Honorable Ali Hussain, that it motivated you to champion causes you believe in and make a difference in your communities. Here on Inspiring Millions Show, we present you with brilliant people from around the world, so feel free to connect with them on social media. And together, let's make a difference in the world. If today's discussion inspired you, please like it, share it, send us a comment. Click the bell so you'll receive notifications from us. Also, do share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit our WHD website, www.whd.org.uk for more inspiring events. Stay safe and healthy. These are challenging times for everyone. Please remember to be kind to yourself and others. To our frontliners, we salute you. We thank you for your hard work, sacrifices, and dedication to humanity. To all those celebrating their birthdays and special milestones this week, happy celebrations. Have a wonderful weekend. On behalf of WHD team, especially those working behind the scenes, WHD Chairman Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, WHD Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, WHD's 12 Honorable Secretary Generals. We thank you, our virtual audience from around the world, for joining us and supporting our show. This has been World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Millions Show. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn. Please join us again next Friday. We will have a discussion with Honorable Kasturi Pato, Member of Parliament in Malaysia, as we inspire the world here on Inspiring Millions Show.